Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with the video. Last week, I planned to go out with my friends on Saturday night. It's been a while since we've been together, and everyone in the group chat kept texting about how I don't spend time with them since I've got myself a girlfriend. I also felt bad for neglecting them for so long. We haven't hung out since after college graduation when all of us got busy in our work life. This weekend was being planned for a long time, and I couldn't refuse anyone. We were bar hopping all over Manhattan, and we were all tipsy at the time we hit our third bar. I didn't check my phone for calls or texts and was starting to enjoy myself. I was dancing with a friend, and we were on our own zone when another friend of mine tapped me on the shoulder and signaled something over at the school station. I looked over his hand and saw my girlfriend there. I was surprised to see her and quickly made my way through the crowd. When I reached her, I grabbed her shoulders from the back, but she slipped out of my reach. I asked her what she was doing there, and she said she was feeling like going out and checking out the night scene. She said it's been a while since she met new strangers. Her words sounded odd, but I was starting to get a little drunk and didn't pay much attention to them. Since she was there, I ordered a drink for her and sat at the bar to calm down my dizzying brain. I asked for a soda because I figured if my girlfriend was going to get drunk, I should at least be a little responsible and cut back. My friends were taking to the dance floor one by one, and my girlfriend went with them. I found it odd that she didn't ask me to go with her or wait for me, but I still ended up following after her. We were all dancing and just letting loose. Some indie rock band was playing, and I was too hyped up to keep track of my dark surroundings. By the time I looked for my girlfriend in the crowd, she was a few steps away dancing with a complete stranger. Now, a normal dance I would have shrugged off, saying she must have accidentally stepped away in the crowd. But they were getting handsy with their bodies, and it pissed me off. I didn't know what my girlfriend was trying to do. We were adults, for God's sake, and she was playing games. She wasn't even drunk enough to not realize how she was acting. I moved over to her and pulled her away from the guy. When she noticed me, she jerked her hand away from my grasp and started dancing again. I was very irritated at that point. I had no idea what was going through her mind, but I knew if I was going to stand there, I'd just keep getting more pissed. So I went back to the bar. After a while, a few friends of mine joined me back, and they were talking about the next bar we could go to when suddenly one of them asked me, why was I just staring at my girlfriend, and why don't I ask her to leave the dance floor if I'm so jealous of her dancing with strangers? I was hella pissed, and I snapped at him that she can do whatever she wants. It's no matter to me. That was probably my biggest mistake because if they were only speculating at that point about the fact that my girlfriend and I have broken up, then my flippant comment made sure to let them know we're over. I ended up going home earlier than expected and dropped my girlfriend off at her own place. The moment I reached home, I hit the pillow and fell asleep. The next day was Sunday, so I slept in and turned my phone to silent. When I woke up and checked it, I found a dozen or so messages from every mutual acquaintance of my girlfriend, and I asked about how we're over. I ignored all of them as I remembered the events of last night. I knew something was wrong with my girlfriend's behavior, but I didn't have the energy to deal with it while being hungover and with a headache. I ordered in food that day and didn't leave my apartment. I played games all day and ignored my phone. My doorbell rang around 6 in the evening, and when I opened the door, my girlfriend was standing there. I silently let her in and went back to my computer. I sat there playing while she sat on the sofa staring at me. When I couldn't take it anymore, I asked her why she was here after behaving like we're not dating anymore yesterday. She told me that she was acting out last night because I've been focusing on work too much to pay her any attention when we've only been dating for 4 months. She said she felt like she wasn't valued anymore and just wanted to be appreciated. She said she realized as soon as she got home that she acted very immaturely and should have just tried talking to me instead of pulling a stunt like that. But that was no reason for me to tell my parents about it. I told her I didn't tell my parents. She was confused and asked me how they knew then. She told me that they called her several times that day, but she knew better than to pick up. For context, My parents are actually her boss, and that's how I met her. Both my parents run a processed food manufacturing company that manufactures food from overseas. My girlfriend is actually on the research team there, and I met her when I used to visit my mom or dad for something. When I first revealed our relationship to them, they were shocked and didn't approve of us. But my girlfriend said this thing would not interfere with her work, and if she lets her personal feelings get in the way of her work, they can fire her. When I heard her say she knew better than to pick up their call, I asked her what she had done, and she explained to me how she took the last 3 days off from the office under the pretense of being sick. Now my mom must have heard about her drinking and dancing incident, and I know my mom is smart enough to figure out that her sick leave was a lie. If my parents' past actions are any proof, then they will surely fire my girlfriend. But I was too pissed off to care about her career at that point. Plus the fact that she was in my apartment that evening because she was scared what would happen with her job only managed to make me more angry. Turns out she wasn't really much concerned with explaining her behavior and only dragged herself to me so she could salvage her job. When I figured all this out, I asked her to leave and told her we're officially done. AITA for behaving the way I did? Should I have helped her out and talked to my parents about her job? Should I have not kicked her out and have tried to work out our relationship? It's been a week and my girlfriend keeps texting and calling me. We still haven't talked anymore about her behavior at the nightclub, and I wasn't ready to listen to her yet. I did reflect on my actions from the day she came to my house in the evening and what she told me. So she was feeling unappreciated in our relationship and decided that it was a better move to meet drunk strangers on the dance floor than tell me about how she was feeling. We're both adults, and I really thought I was past the point in my life where I'd had to deal with my partners behaving immaturely over small things. I thought with our work life and how much energy we exhaust each day fighting our colleagues in meetings, a relationship should be something that comes easily and doesn't require you to solve some puzzle just to understand how your partner was feeling. And if that cannot be the case in our relationship, then what was the point of continuing it? I really pondered the question of whether I want to work this hard and go through all this frustration every time we had an issue. And if I do not want to waste my energy in that way, then what was the point of working things out and continuing it? All these thoughts and conflicting emotions were raging inside of me all week, and I didn't want to talk to my girlfriend until I had figured out my own shit. So in the meantime, I did the only thing I could. I called my mom and asked her if she was planning on firing my girlfriend. My dad was there too, and he interrupted me by asking why am I still calling her my girlfriend when the whole town knows we broke up. I sighed loudly to make sure he heard how annoying I found his comment and then told them that we hadn't broken up yet. We had tried to work things out, and they should not believe everything they hear. I again asked my mom if she was going to fire my girlfriend, and she said she's still thinking about it. I told her not to do that, and in return, I'll owe her a favor. I said that I was the one who pursued an employee of hers, and she knew full well how tenacious I can get. It wasn't my girlfriend's fault, and I asked my mom to give her one more chance. Thankfully, my mom agreed and reminded me not to forget about the favor I owed her. At least I can let go of any guilt I would have had if she was fired because of dating me. But I still need advice on if I should work things out or just let her go and not waste my energy on her. I read a lot of the replies to my last post, and many of you were telling me that every relationship requires a lot of work and nothing comes to us easily. I understand what you all mean, and I also decided on talking things out with my girlfriend. I thought I should give it one more try, and if something like this happens again, then I'll move on from there. So I went to her apartment 2 days ago. There was no point of calling her because I had ignored her calls and texts straight for a week. And I knew she was going to be one pissed off tigress. So I showed up at her doorstep with chocolates and asked her if we could talk about things. I really thought for a second that she was going to shut the door on my face, but after contemplating for a while, she let me in. I followed her to the kitchen and sat down at the counter. I apologized for ignoring her for a week and told her I was working through my own feelings. I said that I needed to be sure if I wanted to work things out with her for real before talking to her, and that's why I ended up ignoring her calls and texts. Finally, after a dozen apologies, she said something. She told me that she was really sorry about how she acted that night and that it wasn't even her nature. She said because of how strong her feelings were for me, she went that far. And then tears started falling from her eyes. When I saw her crying, I hugged her and told her that we need to start things fresh. I like her a lot, and I meant it when I said I wanted to date her seriously. She just said how relieved she was that I am even talking to her because she was scared I hated her so much that I would never want to hear her voice. We ended up talking a lot that night. We talked about the night at that club and how things went so bad that it led us to that point. We talked about how I need to balance my work and private life and how she needs to learn to communicate more openly. Now, we're doing much better than before. Hopefully, things would never get this out of hand, and even if our relationship will require work, we'd be able to do so maturely and by communicating with each other. NTA, just run. Run in the opposite direction, don't look back. A girlfriend that is going to get handsy with other men while you're there isn't worth your time, mate. EAH, they're both a-holes. The girlfriend should have talked about her feelings instead of being all over other men on the dance floor to get his attention. The boyfriend shouldn't be dating in the first place if he doesn't have time to show the people he loves how much he cares. I'm 25-year-old male, and my older sister is planning to get married in the winter. We've had a rocky relationship throughout our childhood. She always was the golden child and was always the overachiever. I was only really naturally good at athletics in high school, but I had to work for everything in the classroom. She was naturally smarter and her grades were better than me. I guess I was a little insecure because I had to work really hard for something that was natural for her. She constantly let me hear it, how she was better at school. We bickered a lot, and my parents usually took her side. It was manageable until the big incident happened. When I was a junior and she was a senior, we were both in relationships. She was dating this questionable guy, and my parents were against their relationship. I was dating this really sweet girl who my parents absolutely loved. My sister got jealous and started sending hateful messages to my girlfriend. Some of the messages including stuff like, he's immature, or he's going to cheat on you. My girlfriend broke things off with me, and it really messed with me. After that, me and my sister couldn't talk without arguing. When my sister started planning her wedding, my parents came to me to ask for some money. They didn't save enough for her wedding and needed about 10K. I immediately said, of course, because I knew my parents felt guilty about not saving enough. They also helped contribute a bit for my college. I told them not to tell my sister and to keep this discreet. Well, they told my sister, hoping it would fix things between us. Immediately after that, my sister blew up my phone telling me that she doesn't need my pity and that this doesn't change things. At that point, I was sick of everyone's shit. I tried to do something nice for the family, and I get treated like crap. The final straw was when my sister said I don't have a plus one because of seating issues. She did this knowing I have a girlfriend I have to explain this to. I had enough and decided I'm not contributing a dime. I told my parents and they freaked out. AITA? Your sister actively does not want your money. She has made it clear she will still hate you if you contribute your money. She might even hate you more for doing it. And she has gone out of her way to prevent you from bringing your girlfriend despite the fact that she currently knows you're making a substantial financial contribution towards this. NTA, she is actively ungrateful for this. You can spend your dollars in better ways. A close friend, 33 female, of mine, 38 female, is getting married. I will call her Mandy. She asked two of my daughters, 19 and 20, to be her bridesmaid together with two of her cousins. Her cousins are both blonde with blue eyes. My first daughter is blonde with beautiful green eyes, and my youngest has dark brown hair with beautiful brown eyes, just like my husband. Mandy asked my youngest daughter to color her hair with some L'Oreal product that you put on your hair and go out in the sun. A lighter shade and put in blue or green eye contact so all the maids of honor would match. My daughter is refusing to do both. My daughter will never put anything in her eyes. She is very sensitive and simply can't. And she has never colored her hair and loves her natural color. She explained this to Mandy, but Mandy absolutely refused to accept these excuses and yelled at my daughter, claiming she was self centered and rude. After she was done yelling, my daughter simply said, "You are self centered, conceited, and shallow, and I will not attend your wedding." After this, my eldest daughter said that she won't be attending either. Mandy asked me to confront my daughters, but I took their side and told her very calmly that she can't expect everyone to agree to do anything she wants just because she's getting married. She was not calm and just kept on yelling and arguing. My husband came home in the middle of our argument. Mandy then asked my husband to talk some sense into us, but he agreed with my daughters and was very angry when my daughters told him all that happened after Mandy left. Her family and friends wouldn't stop calling and texting my daughters and insulting them. They also told my husband and I that we were bad parents and raised such divas, uncaring, and selfish daughters. I feel like my husband and I did the right thing in standing up for our daughters, but a lot of people in her family disagree. Were we wrong to take our daughter's side? Are we the AH? I have seen a few comments about the post and I just wanted to explain a few things. English is not my first language. Sorry about that. The reason she chose my daughters to be her bridesmaids is because they'll be doing her hair and makeup and she needs them close to her for any touch-ups she may need. This is not the first negative interactions we have had with Mandy, but this time it was just way too extreme. The few people that are bullying us are not strangers, more like acquaintances. They know us and think my daughter should have made these sacrifices for the bride. That is also the reason I made this post. These people know us and still chose to behave this way. I started doubting myself and wanted the opinion of a third party. We will not be attending the wedding, and Mandy is going to need to find someone else to do her hair and makeup. All the bullies are blocked. I wish people would stop acting like brides are the goddess of the universe and stop doing unreasonable things for brides or taking their side just because they're a bride. Thank you all so much. NTA, I can't believe you are even posting on here to ask. She isn't your close friend anymore. How dare she demand your child change her hair color and eye color to match some Aryan fetish of what is beautiful? Who tries to physically change the appearance of people so they match hair and eye color? You match dresses, shoes in weddings, not actual physical appearance. If she wanted that, then she should have selected someone else. How dare she ask your child to permanently change her hair color for a one-off event? How dare she make a young woman doubt her looks? How dare she yell at your daughter and call her self-centered and rude? That yelling and those words alone are the reason why she is an ex-friend now and you shouldn't even go to this wedding. Good on your daughter for standing up for herself and for her sister for having her back. Good on you for standing up for her and good on your husband too. But see this through. This is no longer your friend and you cannot accept how your daughter was spoken to. And LOL at the family and friends of hers calling your kids divas. That what your ex best friend is.